YouTuber.
Oh, nice. What's your channel?
Nika at Night.
Nika at Night.
Yeah. All right. Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And I am here live at the Diddy Trial. Now, they just went on a quick break, so everyone is scrounging around to see if they catch a glimpse of the family coming out. So I'm gonna go around, and once I share with you guys what is being said in the closing arguments, or once I show you guys this crowd in the front, then I'm going to share with you guys what's being said in the closing arguments. So let me come around here and you guys let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. And what's it given? I think I probably have to take my phone out of my... Let's see. Hey, y'all. All right, so this is the scene out here. They over here playing music and stuff. I don't know what they got going on. Hey. All right. Hey, y'all. Can y'all hear me clear? Is it coming in clear? Everybody is gathered round. And I'm going to break down everything for you guys. I'm going to tell you guys everything that's going on. He over here calling in a ruckus. He over here calling a ruckus. They over here arguing about the case.
That's what they were saying. They did not say what you just said. All right? We hear prostitution or ex-workers in the courtroom. Yes or no? Answer the question.
Okay.
Just so you know. They use the word clients. They use the word clients. Okay. They use the word escort. Those words in the courtroom. Drop something. What's up?
All right, so after all of this, I'm going to break down the closing arguments. I'm going to let you guys know what's going on. Hey, they're arguing over the case. So they're arguing over what they think was proven, what they think wasn't, what they think was said, what they think wasn't, you know, stuff like that. They got a lot going on. Thank you.
It's like yesterday. You was one of the people that said, I bet you was one of the people. Hold on. Stop a minute. I bet you was one of the people.
They haven't started deliberations yet. Yeah. Where are you going, Dennis? The other way? All right, so let's get into it. Have you guys been observing what's been going on in the trial? Y'all know since it was closing arguments. Who is that? Who is that? Oh, that wasn't nobody. That wasn't absolutely no one.
Channel 7 News said that the charges is dropped. That's what it misinformation out here. That should be ashamed of yourself. That was all.
It's a lot of attention seeking behavior. Okay. A lot of look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me behavior. Ay, ay, ay. Um, hey, Henny. Somebody said I'm waiting on the ambulance. I know one is coming. Right. The family probably not even gonna come out this way because they acting a plum fool for no damn reason. And it's like, why would I come out this way when these nakers are nakering for no reason? Child, a hot mess. A hot mess express. But as soon as I'm gonna wait around here just a little bit longer and then just to see if the family comes out. And then after that, I'm gonna go into letting you guys know about the goings ons that's goings ons in today's closing. Are the family in there? Can you see them? They right there. Oh, okay. Oh my God, all this mess. Oh, see these cameramen, they getting in position. They moving in front of me, child. They getting the shot. Okay, let me scoot. It's a lot going on, honey. It's a lot going on for no reason. Like, why? Why? Why are we doing all this? Okay, here come the marshals to get everybody in order so that they can escort the family out.
Everyone like instantly they were like,
Sorry for the delay on the stream. Right when I was gonna go live, the family they said was coming out. So oh my goodness, they doing too much. All right, the van for the family is here. I'm gonna turn the camera as soon as. Ashley, you the only negative one trying for looking for attention, like these people out here. Ashley want attention like everybody else. You might as well have been out here looking for attention, girl. All right. I don't know who that is. All right, so we're gonna show y'all. Girl, she just want to be. It's always that one person that's negative. Y'all know how it goes. The boat is giving what it needs to give.
You not FBA? 1526. You ain't got no business talking about black excellency. Respect y'all.
You understand that?
You ain't got nothing else.
You don't have privilege. You don't come and just go
All
off.
speculate out your lips.
What's wrong with you?
I heard somebody go to the big mic and shouldn't be saying that.
This one right here.
Oh, that's nice.
Here they come, y'all. Here come his sons coming out. Here the girls.
It's quiet. The whole family on popped out. It's quiet, homie. We don't want to hear nothing. Family in full attendance, homie. Full support is outside. Full support is outside. Luke, you already?
Amazing, man.
All right, excuse me. Walking through. Let me get through. All right, so I just wanted to show y'all the family and who's all here. All the girls, all the girls are here to support, but it's definitely chaos and so much going on. Let me get somewhere a little bit more quiet so that I can tell you guys everything that has been going on today. It is a quick break right now. So during this quick break, I'm gonna try to run down the goings-ons that's been going on to y'all. Quickly now, quickly. Okay, wait, the lighting is not lighting this way. Hold on. Hey, y'all. Okay. So we have a lot to talk about. Hopefully you guys was able to see the family and were able to see them come out. As you see, the Combs twins are here, his sons are here, his family is here, and they are packing out the house in support of Diddy as he goes through his closing arguments in this trial. Now, a lot of people have different emotions on what type of job they feel like the prosecutors are doing. So it is a lot. I want to get people's, hey, how you doing? I want to get different people's opinions for y'all in a second, but they were basically laying out what the law is, how he broke the law, how it was an enterprise, and who the main victims are, who the main players are, and all of the things like that. So at this point, what do you guys think is going to be the verdict of this trial? All right, now a lot of us thought that we were going to hear big parties with all of your favorite celebrities, getting a gang of fluids swapped amongst them with all these people. And a lot of people thought that we were going to hear like all of these different people engaged and intertwined into this that is a part of the industry. But what we learned is a lot of this enterprise and inner workings was Diddy and his own desires of seeing men who had big double-decker, triple-decker peckers bang his women. Now, he got a fascination out of seeing his women get pound-towned by men that were well endowed. He would hire them from websites called Cowboys for Angels. He would hire them off of Craigslist. He would hire them off of Backpage, and he would give them the raw fluid special to where they would bang his chick, finish on his chick. He would play in the finishings, and then they would have that again and again and again. Sometimes it'd be one man. Sometimes it'll be the 2 triple-decker pecker special. Sometimes they do 3 and 4 guys that night, banging and banging and banging the women, all for a fee. Now, these men were getting flown out from LA to Miami to New York to all over the place to fulfill his fantasies. Now, a lot of people feel as though this is just a freakazoid who got a kink that only a billionaire can have. Well, some of y'all regular common folk got these crazy kinks too. But, you know, a lot of people summed up his arousal as to being the kinks of the rich and famous. Now, other people feel as though he was a hell on wheels boss. He was a person that basically made people feel in fear, made them feel terror, and made them fear that if they don't comply, then he would have their lives. Now, they talked about Jane, who is, y'all know who she is. But they talked about Jane and his influence over her. They talked about Cassie and his influence over her. They talked about Capricorn Clark, and these are the main people that the government are alleging are victims. Cassie, Capricorn, Jane. And then they're saying how complicit his enterprise was in the inner workings of this. So I'm gonna pull out some of my notes to go over with you guys and see and bring you guys up to speed a little bit more. So okay, but hopefully you guys, is everything sound good, sound clear? Y'all want to see my outfit? All right, that's what the outfit's looking like. Okay, all right, so ooh, he over here getting aggressive.
It'll be silent. My favorite is to read what you talk about. So
yeah, I said, ooh, he over here getting aggressive.
I'm just going to him. It's like my favorite part of the day.
Oh, okay. I don't mean to.
No, you're good. You're good. How do people follow you?
On
Follow
YouTube.
her too. Okay, what's your YouTube?
Nick at Night.
Nika at Night. Cool. Nika at Night's also done some good stuff. Follow her.
You
Don't
want
go
to talk?
crazy with it.
You want to talk? Yeah.
You want me to? I'm happy to.
All right.
What's your name?
Neek.
Neat?
Neek.
Neek.
All right.
I'm Joe.
Hey, this is Joe. He's been here almost every day covering the Diddy trial, and he is also an attorney.
Yep.
He's also an attorney.
Yes.
He's also an attorney. Let him introduce
You're an
himself.
attorney?
No.
Oh, she said also.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
I'm so confused.
No, I'm not an attorney.
Yeah, people call me on YouTube. I'm known as Good Logic, LAWGIC, Good Logic.
Okay,
So
so
what are your
this
questions?
is
What do you
good logic. How do you feel the prosecution is doing today in their closing argument?
I think the closing arguments are well presented. I'm surprised about some of the things that they're doing, though. I'm surprised because yesterday we were hearing that they're pulling out the jury charges to talk about the kidnapping, the arson. They're spending a lot of time about that for things that are supposedly not in the jury charges, which is a little perplexing, right? You got the news yesterday about how they said, we don't want you to instruct about the arson, the kidnapping, and the sex trafficking for purposes of establishing RICO. They spent a lot of time talking about kidnapping, right? They talked about the arson. I don't know why they're investing their time there. Unless they're just trying to give an aura overall of like of that it's just a crazy, chaotic environment of madness that he'll do, and that Diddy does what he wants in order to really garner a feel for what it was like for these women and what they were going through and everyone in his environment, and to show you that he basically felt that he had no boundaries at all, that the law doesn't apply to him, and that whatever Diddy wants, Diddy's going to get, whether or not it's legal. So that's the best explanation as to why they're going down that, and it is effective. I mean, you can't deny the fact that when you're hearing just one step after another he's taking, you tell me, Nick, I mean, does it not feel as if like
it feels like they're actually, not only are they telling you how he broke the law, but they're teaching you how as well. And because a lot of people have questions about, well, how is this RICO? How is this racketeering? And they're doing a good job at explaining, well, this happened, this person worked in it, and this is how this is racketeering and RICO.
And I gotta tell you something, the fact that you're saying that is telling you that the U.S. attorneys are doing a good job. Because if you're feeling more enlightened, they're not trying to enlighten the attorneys, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to get the jurors who basically are unfamiliar with this. You're saying you feel more familiar with it. That's the proof right there that they're doing an effective job in their closing arguments, because they want folks who don't know the law to feel comfortable with convicting him on RICO. So that's really the best yardstick, better than even what an attorney would think about it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. What do you feel as it pertains to Jane? Do you feel like their argument of her being forced into this trafficking is a convincing argument?
Don't get me started on the Jane charge. I'm very, very troubled by the Jane charge. I actually just put a poll up on X where I was saying, like, if you want to tell me she's forced or coerced by, here's an example I'll give you, Nick, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the poll I put up. I want to get your just instant reaction, okay?
Okay.
Imagine you meet assuming you meet someone, guy or girl, whatever, you fall head over heels in love with them. Okay, 3 months, 4 months, so much in love, and they have tons of money. They're like, I'm going to put you up in a rent-free. I'm going to give you this beautiful apartment. And then they come to you and they say, okay, I really want you to cut off your left hand because I'm missing my left hand. I really want you to cut off your left hand, and I'm going to take you on a yacht. And then you decide, oh my God, this is the love of my life, whatever. He wants me to cut off my left hand. Would you do that? Would you say you're forced to do that?
No, I mean,
would anyone say you're forced or coerced to do that? Now, you're talking about something that's the most violative act. And I definitely agree. I can sympathize that this woman is put in a terrible, terrible position. He's a dirtbag. He's scum. He's slime. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is she forced or coerced? And if it was, she decided, if she's making a decision that this is worth it to me, then once you're entering into, is it worth it, is it not worth it, now you're not forced. You see what I'm saying? You're forced when you have no choice, or you're coerced if I do this or else, and then it's not like it's a choice. It's cutting off your hand would not be a choice. Similarly, engaging in sexual activity that is not something you want to do. That's the biggest violation you can possibly have. It's not any less than cutting off your hand. That's why it's such a terrible crime. That's why trafficking is 15 years minimum, because it really is a terrible crime. We tend to cheapen how devaluing it is in everything except the law. But that's why I say to you, look, I think he treated her like scum. I think he purposely wanted to hurt this woman. I think he knew who she was and her background. And I think certainly we're not able to discuss that. But I think he decided she's a pretty flower. She's elegant and she's well regarded. She's well established. And I want to show that I can ruin her. And I think that's why he did to her what he did. And he's a terrible, terrible human being. He's a monster. But the question is, was she forced, or did he manipulate her into it in a way that she still was left with a choice? And with Jane specifically, I think she still had a choice. Very different from the Cassie situation. Very different from the Cassie to me. And you tell me, Nick. I mean, we saw what you've been watching the trial since day one, right?
Yes.
You're here every day, right? Okay. I mean,
most days, not every day.
I missed a day here too also. I wasn't here every single day. With Cassie, he's beating on her. He's blackmailing her. He's threatening, I'm releasing these videos.
I feel like sorry to cut you off, but I feel like it's crystal clear with Cassie. But go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So that's why I'm saying, but that's why you feel it with crystal clear with Cassie, because you can understand that she's going to give into the blackmail. That even if sometimes she was okay with it, that sometimes she really wasn't. And he still knew, and that he had the mens rea, the intent. He knew that she didn't want to do it. And he's like, I'm going to force you to do it anyway. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that we have a single instance here with Jane that we can say with confidence, beyond a reasonable doubt, that Diddy knew that she definitely was not willing to do it, and that he's like, I don't care, you're going to do it anyway. And that to me is why I don't think the state has much of a chance. I think that the jury here is going to let him walk on the Jane trafficking charge.
And then the question really is on the Cassie trafficking charge, which I think is far stronger. And I think the RICO charges, technically, I mean, they're painting, like you said, they're painting a good picture on the RICO.
Yeah. So, as it pertains to the defense argument of them saying that this was just a guy who he happened to be rich, but this was his personal time. This was his personal use. What do you think about their argument in terms of them trying to dumb down the enterprise, even though he was using funds of the businesses to fund some of this stuff?
Well, to me, I'm very bothered by the fact that they brought these RICO charges. I don't like when RICO's used this way. Do you know why RICO was invented, why Congress passed the RICO statute?
Yeah, for mobs.
Yeah, why? Because they're trying to basically thug people, extort people, blackmail people, and basically twist their arms. I'm going to break your legs unless you pay us protection. That's what it's supposed to be stopping. In order to enable and facilitate drug trafficking, in order to facilitate that you can basically yank money out of people, it's a money-making venture. That's what it's supposed to be. This is not a money-making venture. This is a money-losing venture. He wasted millions of dollars feeding his own fetish. I don't like when RICO is used this way, but that doesn't mean that the statute cannot be fairly read to make it a crime. So I do think that I understand why they're doing it, and this is not the first time we've seen people use RICO this way. I'm just personally not a huge fan of when the U.S. attorneys do that. Hey. So
they want you to say hi, but not to cut you off, but to say
no.
Say hi.
Hey guys. Well, I'm sorry. What's up? What's up, Nick? Listen, what's going on? Mama has been out here covering us from the beginning, and you looking so pretty today. Look at her like a little angel. What do you think so far about what's going on?
I feel like they're laying it out. I was just telling Good Logic that they're basically explaining what it is, why this is a RICO, what offenses constitute, and not just thinking of it as your everyday drug running scheme where you're running kilos, but the inner workings of how it was distribution, how he was peddling, these narcotics to all the people. But what do you think?
Honestly, I think they might have been in your live taking notes on what to do because they heard what y'all was saying and was like, I don't see the RICO. And I agree with you. They laid it out like, no. You know me, I like when people are a little bit more animated and fire and brimstone. But I'm telling you, I feel like they did such a great job laying it out. I was really impressed. I said they wrapped it all together. And I'm waiting to see what the second part is going to be.
Defense?
No, not with
the second part after lunch of the state.
Yeah, they're not done. Yeah.
You want to know where that's going?
Yeah.
I'll
Sorry.
tell you right now. That's going to Cass. We didn't really hear. We didn't.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
Well, no. So that's probably going to go to the Cassie story. We haven't heard much in the openings and the closing arguments so far to really break down exactly, all the gruesome details. They're going to review over the blackmail, the beatings, the dragging, pulling her around by her hair, throwing her face down, everything that we heard from Deontay Nash, everything we heard from Kerry Morgan. I don't know who loves that.
You guys, I gotta get out of here. Don't forget, they have a firm 1:15, or they're just gonna.
So we're gonna go. Yeah. So
we gotta get. Oh, okay.
Later. Good Logic. Subscribe to this woman. She's awesome. Subscribe to me every day, busting her tail. Make sure you kick that like, subscribe,
and make
share.
Make sure you subscribe to Good Logic as well, because he's breaking it down. Now, everybody has different opinions on what they feel was proven or not proven and things like that. And I think that, like I said, it's up to you guys how you take each victim, how you take each charge. And if you feel like they have met their burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, it is going to go to the jurors who are everyday people like me and you. Now, a lot of people, like we have a lot of legal analysts on YouTube. We have a lot of attorneys and different commentators, but they're not the average juror. The average juror is going to be me, you, your sister, your mama, you know what I mean? The people who are not legal analysts or legally profound in this scope. You're going to be your everyday grocery store worker, your everyday teacher, your everyday this or that. And these are the people who are going to be letting you know what they feel as far as his fate in these charges. Now, some people feel as though he is a monster. He was reigning terror and he was HE double hockey sticks on wheels. And then some people feel as though hey, you wanted the lifestyle, you were a part of the lifestyle, and that was what it was. So it's a lot to go over. Now, when the judge first started, let me tell you guys, and I'm in the overflow, so I don't gotta rush back like that. But they are gonna get started in a few moments. So when the judge first started, he wanted them to, tell the jury that they need to give their attention to the AUSA for their closings. And tomorrow, there will not be any closings today. Tomorrow is going to be the closing for the defense side. Now, they started out, and I'm going to just read a little bit of how they started out. And then later on, we are going to have a full live where we break down everything that they talked about, everything that they discussed, and go by line by line by line of what impression I got from it. They played audio messages of him when he basically was telling Jane, you better get on your job. Remember the audio that went to all the blogs when Diddy was telling Jane she better get on her job? Okay, you better get on your job. Okay, I'm on my job. You better get on your job. They were playing that in the closing summation to basically say, look, this is him holding her rent over her head. Like, if she don't do these freak offs, then they're gonna want to stop paying her rent, this, that. So let me just read a little bit. So it said they started out by saying, and she's talking kind of monotone. Now, there's different styles of closing arguments. There are the arguments that are very captivating, and they're not really reading from a paper, they're not really reading from a book, and you can hear the passion in them. And then there are the closing arguments where you have all of your bullet points and you're making sure that you're going over each point and you're making sure that you say everything that needs to be said. Now, this is more on a monotone side of things, but she's laying out point by point of what she feels is the law, what she feels which law was broken, and what she feels as it pertains to the enterprise, and so on and so forth. Now, while she is doing her closing arguments, you can often see Diddy holding his head down, writing notes to his attorneys, passing notes, but his overall look is just kind of like, oftentimes he would have his hands in his lap and he would kind of just be looking around like, whatever. And then they have his twin girls along with his other daughter. I think, what's her name? Chance. So you have one twin, and then you have Chance, and then you have another twin sitting there. Then you have Mama Combs, and then the family just all jam-packed in the row, front and center. And so there are a lot of people who feel like his twins shouldn't be here. And then there are people like me who I feel like, listen, they do that so that they can get an effect on the jury to say, look at him, guys. This is his family. This is who you be taking him away from. And that's really what the use of the twin girls are. Now, should they be listening to all of this stuff and hearing all of their father's bedroom business? Absolutely not. But the reason why they have them front and center and made sure that they're propped up in the front is so that the people in the jury can think and have that on their mind. If you send him away for these crimes, you're taking him away from his daughters. You're taking him away from his mom. You're taking him away from his family and so much more. So that's really the reason why they are there. Now, again, like I said, there are people who don't agree with it, but that's literally what it is. Now, they started out by saying, over the last few weeks, you've learned that Sean Combs is the leader of a criminal organization. He doesn't take no for an answer. He's into kidnapping. Oh, hi.
I think Diddy tested this. He need a psychiatrist. He can psychiatrist to help you. That might help us. Other than that,
Okay.
I think
All right. All right. So, I'm sorry, y'all. I get distracted when people just stand right next to me and just stare at me, and I'll be like, "Hi." I don't know. I know that y'all get annoyed because it breaks me up, but I don't know how to deal with that. But anyways, what's up? You rushing in right now, or you want to?
trying to fight? No, they're just not playing.
What do you say?
There will be like in and out privileges. You be back for your breaks on time, like you will.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to hold you up. Then I was gonna say hi, but
What's up, everybody? I'm so ready for this
case.
case.
Radio voice. What's up, everybody?
I'm so ready for this case to be over.
All right, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I'm not in the main courtroom, so y'all know I'm gonna go in when I feel like it. But yeah, so but that is like the people that are in the main courtroom, they have to be there punctual and prompt. Now me, I could linger with y'all for a couple of minutes because child, they don't care about us in the overflow. But we hear the same information. We don't hear the information no less. The family is just now pulling up. So as I'm here talking to you guys, once the family walks in, then shortly after that, then I'll be ending my live. But you'll see them walk in right behind me. But let's continue. Let me finish reading a little bit of the goings ons that went on because we're going to get into it later. All right. So I'll start back from the top. Sorry, I get distracted, but I don't know how to handle people. They literally stand right here and just look at you like this. Can I help you? But anyways, all right. So, okay. So over the last few weeks, you've learned that Sean Combs is the leader of a criminal organization. He doesn't take no for an answer. He's into kidnapping, arson, forced labor, bribery of a security officer, and the brutal crimes of trafficking. Consider two moments. March 2016 at the Intercontinental Hotel, the defendant got violent with Cassie. You saw what happened. He dragged her back to the freak off. Then in 2024 at Jane's house, the defendant choked and hit her. She ran. She couldn't get away. These are the chapters in the same book. The defendant counted on silence and shame. He thought that his fame and wealth and power put him above the law over the last, they said, over the last 7 weeks, you've heard how he used his staff to promote his power. No one could stop him. It says, well, we'll talk about RICO, including trafficking and transportation, which are also separately charged as standalone crimes. So they said that the RICO and the trafficking are standalone crimes. All right. So it says, and they both are separately charged. It says, you may have heard of racketeers. When someone commits a crime as part of a group, they are dangerous. A group of people whose purpose was to serve and protect the defendant. It's his kingdom. Everyone was to serve him, fulfilling all of his desires. We need to show at least 2 racketeering crimes. The defendant, they said their purpose was to serve and protect the defendant. It's his kingdom. Everyone was to serve him, fulfilling all of his desires. We need to show at least 2 racketeering crimes. It says the defendant was the head of Combs Enterprise. There was Inner Circle, his chief of staff. Let me see. Should I stand? I'm gonna stand like right here so y'all could see the family as they walk by, because they're coming up. So they're coming up right now. So it says there was Inner Circle, his chief of staff, and his bodyguards. The names changed, but the roles remained the same. You've heard about KK, Combs' right brain. Okay, they're walking in. All right, that's the girls, the family walking in. All right, so that was the family going in. All right, so it says, you've heard about KK, Combs' right brain. She lived in Two-Star Island. She communicated with the defendant's girlfriends, his security. You heard their names: D-Rock, Bonds, Rube, Uncle Paulie, Fahim. They were armed and ready. Remember the incident at the diner with Suge Knight? Child, they brung up the incident with Suge Knight again, talking about, oh, thank you. Okay, this is more family going in, I think. Oh, here come Quincy. Somebody screenshot for me. Screenshot for me, y'all. That was Quincy and Justin. And they're going through security. Anyways, let's get back to it. Y'all can't see. They in the back. They just walked right. They walked right here. Anyways, so I'm gonna read a little bit more for y'all, and then I'm going to go in because they're not gonna until the family get in there. They usually they hard on the press and the people, but they want the family to be seated and in there. So I doubt they starting right at 1:15. So, anyways, let me finish talking to y'all. Hopefully, y'all enjoying my coverage. Y'all know sometimes I get easily distracted, but hey, you do better then. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So it says, you see that KK, she communicated with the defendant's girlfriends. His security, you heard their names: D-Rock, Bonds, Rube, Paulie, Fahim. They were armed and ready. Remember the incident at the diner with Suge Knight? David James told you guys Combs had guns. In the search that they did of his home, what did they find? Guns. All right. It says law enforcement found guns, including a rifle with serial numbers defaced. The serial numbers of two AR-15s, and it's had their serial numbers cut out in the defendant's closet. You also have the rotating cast of assistants paid by the defendant. It says his businesses. Paul said he made $100K a year. KK made 6 times that. When your boss asks you to buy drugs, it says you're committing a crime. All right. So whether you know it or not, if you buy these party enhancers, these narcotics for your boss, you're committing a crime. Okay. So it says you're committing a crime when you kidnap someone, or when he locked his girlfriend in a hotel room after your boss stumped her face. That is a crime. Okay. That the law does not require us to know that they liked committing these crimes. You saw KK telling the defendant not to be so reckless, but she got him cash, drugs, and she was a member of his enterprise. They're getting a little loud, ain't they? But anyways, they're getting a little loud. Now, y'all know, if y'all can support the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. My Cash App is right here. And y'all can always send in a super chat if you guys are enjoying the commentary. Let me scoot around because, child, I feel like voices are elevating or something. Let me scoot around because there's a lot going on right here. And child, we could relocate real quick. Let me move over here. Anyway. Oh, y'all can't hear them? I can, child. Distraction. Okay. Y'all can't hear them because I got the mic, but I can. All right. Thank you, Ashley. All right. So yeah, so KK was telling him not to be so reckless. She got him cash, party enhancers, and she was a member of the enterprise. It impacted interstate commerce because one of the things that they have to prove as it pertains to this RICO is that it impacted interstate commerce. So that's something that they were letting the jury know, like this impacted interstate commerce. It says Combs knowingly became a member. He was the boss, and he was the through line to the racketeering act. It says distribution. So as it pertains to the racketeering, they were saying that, it was the distribution of the mood enhancers, party enhancers. It was the kidnapping, arson, bribery, facilitating trafficking of Cassie and Jane. So they're saying that both Cassie and Jane were trafficked, and they did forced labor into doing the hunching and bunching too. All right. It says travel for commercial work, and how he tried to cover it all up. All right. So you've seen how he tried to pay the hotel workers to cover it up. He tried to pay off with tapes and contacting people and things like that. They said you only need to find that someone would commit 2 acts in any of these categories. It could be 2 acts of party enhancers, which is the drugs. All right. And it says, and essential ingredients of the freak offs. And basically, it says most involved were D-Rock, KK, and Fahim, but they helped keep the party enhancer, the drugs supply high. It says we're not talking about weed here, all right? Because they start talking about how they was dealing with drugs and all that. They said, listen, we're not talking about some little Mary Jane. We talking about the hard stuff that they had in their possession and that they were supplying. And they said that they were supplying all kind of stuff, like they said they uncovered meth, oxy, ketamine. Now, when they said ketamine, they explain how this is a disassociative drug. So this is something like the date drug. You know what I mean? It's ketamine. It disorients and disassociates you. All right. They said they found meth, oxy, ketamine, GHB, mushrooms, Molly, Tusi, a combination dyed pink. They said the quantities of how much he had of these things are not relevant. It's not the element of this crime. Distribution does not require a sale. You know the names of the dealers that was peddling this stuff. It says, you heard the name One Stop, Baby Girl. Jane told you that on 2 occasions she was told to bring these illegal party enhancers when she flew to meet him. She coordinated with KK. It's corroborated by text messages. KK told Jane to swing by Mapleton to pick up the Guido package. Now, Guido was one of the dealers. So when they told him to pick up the Guido package, that was the illegal party enhancers that they had. It says, and so they said, okay, he was called during hotel nights. So we know the Guido package was more X. They said the security team knew what it was. Like, he didn't have to explain to them. They knew what the Guido package was. They knew what it was. All right. And then it says that Guido texted Fahim, Puff has a $450 balance with me. Brendan Paul asked for $780 for personal Gucci items. That is the hard illegal party enhancers, okay? So he was sending texts because the Gucci bag was where they would hold all of these hard party enhancers. And he said he needed $780 for Gucci bag items, all right? So they were saying, and when they say that, that's code for the hard stuff. Okay. It says these party enhancers were distributed. It doesn't matter that he wasn't buying kilos or selling them. Personal use is just a distribution. They bought and distributed to people around him. Cassie used these illegal party enhancers at every freak off. And all of these things was supplied by the defendant. He introduced Jane to these illegal party enhancers, gave them to her at all but one hotel night. He gave these illegal party enhancers to Carrie Morgan and Bana Bangalong. He made Brendan Paul try Tusi to see if it was good. D-Rock would text One Stop, need to see someone, bro. That is the defendant's drug debt. KK knew he was distributing these illegal party enhancers to women for Wild King nights. Jane told KK he was having a bad come down. KK gives pro tips on how to deal with it. Plain and simple, this is a illegal party enhancer distribution. All right. So they're saying that whether these people was buying it to sell it, they were buying it and passing it out for these encounters, which were illegal. Okay. They were saying that these things, no matter if you think that you buying it to sell it, you're buying it to distribute it. That's just as illegal. So that's what she was explaining. She said that when it came to Jane telling KK that she was having a bad come down, KK was giving her the ins and the outs and telling her how to navigate. Shut up. KK was giving her the ins and the outs and telling her how to navigate coming down off of these illegal party enhancers. She was telling her, do this, do that, take this, eat chocolate, do some, all this stuff. So they're like, these are the inner workings of the enterprise, and this is proof. Now, it says they wanted to talk about the kidnapping. All right. He says they committed kidnapping under California and New York. Okay. They said they kidnapped Capricorn in New York. They kidnapped Capricorn in Los Angeles. And they are deeming when Diddy basically grabbed her up and made her go to Kid Cudi's house when he allegedly went in to break in. They are deeming that as kidnapping because he showed up, banged on the door, and when he banged on the door, he had a pistol with him. He made her get in the car. He made her go to Kid Cudi's residence, and she went a substantial distance. So they're saying this was kidnapping by every measure. Okay, no matter what you feel about it, when you force somebody into your car unwillingly, you're kidnapping them. All right. So that's what they were talking about. They said he also stumped Cassie in the face. So he said he stumped her in the face and he made her stay put. He had her face disfigured. Roger Bonds caught her and brought her back. The defendant made her go to the London hotel on Sunset so no one saw her. Let's see. And then it said she wanted to go home to her mom, but no, it's clear Cassie did not consent to staying at the London hotel. David James testified the defendant demanded to see his search history if he posted that the defendant had assaulted Cassie. So they're saying how even his assistants had his wrath and he personally invaded their space, their privacy, their liberty as well. Because if you guys remember, and I was actually in the courtroom, let me set this backpack down, child. I was actually in the courtroom, if y'all want to I was actually in the courtroom when David James testified, and he was basically testifying that he was his apartment, his place was ransacked. They thought he had stole some stuff from Diddy. So they went and tossed up his house upside down to try to find if he stole from Diddy. And then they made him go and take a lie detector test. And then they were like, well, did you know anybody else who was forced in this manner to take a lie detector test? And they said that Capricorn Clark was also forced as well. So when they brung that up, they're saying, listen, you see how even his people that are his assistants, they had to go and be, stuff, their space invaded, go through their, stuff like that. So they went through a lot. They talked about Capricorn, how they made her take a lie detector test, how they took her up to the bad boy headquarters before it was the bad boy headquarters, forced her to do a lie detector for 5 days, and so much more. There's a lot to go over. I'm gonna head back in right now because it is starting up. Well, it's been starting up for a little bit, and I don't want to miss too much. So I'm about to go back inside and I'm going to keep you guys updated on the goings ons. That's goings ons. So make sure you guys have your notifications turned on so that you come here and hear my breakdown. Now, over here, I'm not going to give y'all no type of extra fluff or bumps. Okay. What it is and what I see is what I'm going to report. All right. Now, everybody got to get it how they live. Some people get it off clicks and views. Some people get it off of sensationalizing. Some people even made up flat out lies on everything. But I'm not going to do that, okay? I'm not that thirsty to get some views to just make up elaborate stuff just to get y'all to click. I'm telling y'all to click, and y'all going to click off of pure vibes. If y'all like my commentary, you like how I'm delivering it, then come through for the pure facts of the matter. Which room y'all going to? Yeah, come talk to the people real quick. All right, tell them your channel and tell them
Queen Sheba Darling. Hi, y'all.
tell them what you think real quick.
I think the government is doing an outstanding job. I am neither Team Diddy or Team anybody, but when you think about the brilliance in the courtroom and what's actually going on, you got to give the people their props. But I'm here to see the defense, so we'll see what they have coming up.
All right, well, that's Queen Sheba Darling. You going to get some food right now?
Upstairs.
Oh, in the cafeteria. Oh, okay. And then where you going to 24? No? Oh, okay.
Where you going? 24?
Where's is it better in 15?
No, you can hear better in 24.
Oh, okay. All
I might
right.
go to 24.
All right. But yeah, so make sure y'all come back here and y'all don't be shy to send in a $10, $20, $30 holla on this Cash App now. Don't be stingy on this Good Thursday because I'm going to be bringing it today, tomorrow, and bringing y'all up on how the defense did once they swing and what they do for the remainder in this prosecution closing argument. So y'all see it, child? No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. You said the grays is popping out. The grays is popping out. At my age, child, the grays be trying to make their way up too. I do got some grays that be popping. But somebody said you can hear better in 24. Yes, you definitely can. Can I do an outfit of the day? This is a Burlington little cute little number. Okay, 1212. Burlington supply a lot of thank you. No, they're up already. What was I saying? Burlington, you know what I'm saying? For the cheap, okay, they supplied some of the looks today. But all right, y'all, let me get up out of here. Let me go back inside and write down what's going on for y'all. Peace out.